On April 5, 1943, Brazilian fishermen found a startling sight. A thin Chinese man 9 miles offshore on a small raft. He was dancing, singing, and waving a shirt. Sunburnt and starving, he was surprisingly cheerful. Days later, with translation help, they learned his name was Poon Lim, and he'd survived 133 days adrift at sea. This is his incredible story. Born in 1918 on Hainan Island, Poon Lim's early life was overshadowed by global conflict. Though his family fished peacefully, the threat of Japanese invasion loomed. His father, fearing conscription, relocated them to Malaysia. Lim, finding fishing unfulfilling, sought to combat Japanese imperialism. He joined the British Merchant Navy as a cabin boy but faced harsh realities. He and other Asian crew members endured poor treatment and discrimination. By 1937, disillusioned, Lim left to work as a mechanic in Hong Kong. However, with Japan's renewed aggression in 1941, he returned to the sea. His desire for a meaningful role in the war effort outweighed the challenges he'd faced. Lim's journey was marked by a constant struggle against both external threats and internal injustices, shaping him into a resilient individual. In 1942, Poon Lim joined the Benlamond, a supply ship, as a steward. On November the 23rd, 1942, during a voyage between Cape Town and Suriname, the ship was vulnerable. It was slow, heavily ballasted, and traveling alone in a known German submarine patrol area. At 2 p.m., a German submarine spotted the Benlamond and launched 2 torpedoes. The ship, armed only with small-caliber weapons, was defenseless. The torpedoes struck, causing massive explosions. Most of the 54 crew members perished. Amidst the chaos, Lim grabbed a life jacket and jumped overboard, escaping the sinking ship. However, he was now alone in the vast Atlantic Ocean. Disoriented and shocked, he struggled to stay afloat, battling exhaustion. Just as Poon Lim was losing hope, an 8x8 wooden raft floated within reach, a survivor of the Benlamond's destruction. With night falling and no rescue in sight, his ordeal began. He was roughly 250 miles from land, but a westward current was pushing him further towards Brazil, over 500 miles away. In the following days, Lim understood that survival depended on his resolve and resourcefulness. The raft contained a survival kit: flares, cooking pots, a broken flashlight, chocolate, sugar cubes, and 11 gallons of water. Initially, he expected a swift rescue given the Benlamond's known route. However, he also recognized the war's demands and the potential for his situation to be overlooked. To prepare for prolonged isolation, he meticulously rationed his supplies and collected rainwater. Drawing upon his childhood as a fisherman, he knew the ocean could sustain him. He crafted fishing lines from copper wire and hooks from raft nails. For bait, he used biscuit crumbs. Poon Lim quickly adapted to his situation. He caught fish, filleted them with a tin lid, and used the remains as bait. To preserve food, he dried some fish in the sun. Despite this initial success, the following weeks brought relentless storms and strong winds, threatening his supplies and hard-earned food. Lim battled hunger, dehydration, and despair, struggling to stay conscious. The fish eventually disappeared, forcing him to hunt seagulls. He made jerky from their meat and used inedible parts as bait to catch fish and small sharks. He often fought these creatures on the raft's slippery floor. His suffering intensified, marked by severe sunburn and constant seasickness. Adding to his torment were the near rescues. A freighter passed close by, its crew ignoring his pleas for help. Lim suspected racial bias, but they likely mistook him for a Japanese sailor or feared a U-boat trap. Many ships were under strict orders against rescues. Later, U.S. Navy planes flew overhead. One dropped a buoy, raising his hopes, but they didn't return. This was another devastating blow. After the U.S. Navy planes failed to return, Poon Lim's hopes dwindled. The only other encounter was with a German U-boat crew who merely observed him. He resigned himself to a slow death. However, a glimmer of hope appeared when the water's color changed, indicating shallower depths and proximity to land. On April 5, 1943, 133 days after the Benlaman's sinking, he spotted a fishing boat and was rescued by Brazilian fishermen. Lim had endured nearly 5 months at sea, losing significant weight and suffering from dehydration and malnutrition. After a month of recovery, doctors deemed him remarkably well. His story became an international sensation. The British consul arranged his travel to London, where King George VI awarded him the British Empire Medal for his service. The Royal Navy incorporated his survival techniques into their manuals. He embarked on a speaking tour, recounting his ordeal. Later, he settled in the United States, facing initial citizenship hurdles due to immigration quotas. Senator Warren Magnuson intervened, and Congress increased the quota, granting him citizenship. Upon learning he held the record for longest survival on a raft at sea, Lim expressed his hope that no one would ever break it. He spent his remaining years in Brooklyn, New York, and passed away in 1991 at the age of 72. If you enjoyed this and you want to support the channel, give this video a like and subscribe if you aren't already, so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.